So this refrigerator is leaking water from the ceiling. It's a refrigerator on the bottom, freezer on the top. So in this video, I'll show you how to solve that issue. First, you'll need a Klein 11-in-1 or something comparable for removing all the screws. A drain gun. This isn't a must-have, but it's kind of nice. And a CO2 cartridge. A heat gun or blow dryer, something to help melt some of the ice that's clogged in the condensate drain. And a shop vac, just in case you spill water or there's water sitting on the floor in the freezer. A flashlight is also really handy. This is an O-light swivel. All right, let's get into it. If you look up in the freezer here, I removed everything out of the freezer. It had an ice maker, so I pulled off the ice maker with these 3 screws here and then removed that back panel. The ice maker did have a little plug. Be sure to unplug that as you're taking it apart. Make sure your freezer's unplugged, etc. Now you'll see here on the floor of this freezer that there is some ice there, or melted water at this point. And I determined that the coils there were melting and filling up this condensate pan, and then the water was spilling into the freezer. That little hole right there in the condensate drip pan, I noticed, was clogged with ice, kind of sludgy, dusty goop. So I didn't know where that water was draining to. I didn't think that there was a drain hose coming out of the back of the freezer. But I'll take you around back and show you what's going on back there. So after removing this little piece of cardboard, there's a couple screws there, you can see there's this hose coming from the freezer, and it looks like it's probably the condensate drip hose. Spills into this little pan and just evaporates into the house. I noticed that the bottom of that hose was completely dry, so just assumed that it wasn't properly draining. It was rather draining into the freezer, which was then dripping into the fridge. So I'll show you what to do about that, and yeah, we'll go from there. Using a heat gun or a blow dryer or something like that to try to speed up the melting of that ice built up in the tube, I then used this drain gun and blasted some compressed air up through the drain pipe, and I could hear the ice come out the top, so I figured it had freed up some of the ice. Just to be sure, I used it on the top and blew the ice out the bottom. You can see here it started to drip, and there goes a little chunk of ice. So I knew that that was cleared. Now all that's left to do is put everything back together. And yeah, I hope you found that helpful and you're able to get your refrigerator from leaking. Thanks for watching.